Good morning. Welcome to Pimlico Racecourse. I keep loving to see those beautiful shots. Preakness last year. We're gearing up for a big one once again. Naomi Tucker joined by Keith Fustel. Keith, unfortunately not as sunny in those shots, but the rain that falls today and has been falling yesterday won't fall next week, right?
Yeah, I mean, projected forecast looks good, long range. So let's hope we can get. I think right now partly sunny skies predicted for Preakness Day around 70, 72. But yesterday's weather was just wild and wacky as the sleet came down and looked like flurries. It was just bizarro world for a little while here at Old Hilltop.
Yeah, hopefully today will be a little bit less windy and
Mm-hmm.
rainy, but we'll take it as it comes. Currently, good main track, and we're off the turf.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a second. But as we're about 6 days away from Preakness, do make sure you keep using First Bet and Express Bet to place your bets
Mm-hmm.
throughout the week because it gives you a chance to win $20,000 in a bet to place on Preakness 146. Now, Keith, you start thinking, who would you place that bet on, right?
Man, yeah, yeah. And it would take me a little while. I trust me, $20,000 win bet. That would be my biggest bet of all time. I'd be a little concerned there. So, but man, yeah, just if you haven't signed out, we talked about this yesterday. Please get on there, get to First Bet. It's got a lot of vital information that you can use, even if you're a newbie. It breaks some things down for you, makes it a little simpler, so you can enjoy this great game that we have to offer.
Yeah, indeed. And Preakness coming up next week. We'll talk about all of that in a little bit as well. But
Hmm.
that's Swiss Skydive, the heroine of last year. No female contenders by the looks of it thus far in this race. Such a shame. Love a bit of girl power.
Okay.
But the girls do take center stage the Friday before in the Black Eyed Susan. And Keith, it's just always a marvelous weekend, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. And once again, just hoping the weather projections are correct, and I'm looking forward to it. Absolutely.
As we'll have a look at the current condition of the track. The main track is good. We are off the turf today.
Hmm.
You can see it's a little bit gloomy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little chilly out, cloudy skies, but I tell you, the guys have done a great job on this racetrack. Racetrack labeled good. I was a little surprised to see that, so hats off to the whole crew here who does a great job each and every day, and even over at Laurel Park. These guys have a lot of work to do, and they don't get enough credit. Yeah, 53 degrees. It's a little chilly out off the turf, but we've got a good main track.
Yeah, we got a little bit of rain overnight, so they did a
Hmm.
wonderful job keeping the track in such terrific condition. As we'll get going with the first race on the day. Early pick 5 sequence start right here. And I forgot to mention earlier, it is Mother's Day today. So
Yes.
happy Mother's Day to all the families out there, the ones that would like to be a mother one day, the ones that are missing their moms, everyone and everything related to motherhood. Did you do anything special for the day, Keith?
Well, my mom, she just had a birthday on the 29th of April, and she's up in Hampstead, and I know she's not watching right now, but I tell you, I owe a lot to her for everything. She's been great, and she's the reason that I kind of got into this sport. Her father, Cecil Kaufman, was a jockey prior. Going on the way back. He used to exercise ride Native Dancer. You might have heard that racehorse.
I did not know any of this, Keith.
Okay.
Why am I
Okay.
only hearing about this
Yeah,
now?
yeah. So and my grandfather used to be a mutual clerk after he retired from riding. He would work up in the press boxes, and I was just a hanger on at a young kid. And you want to know why I got into it and hung around some great guys in the press box. Learned a lot. It's because of Mom. That's how I got my start. So love you, Mom, and I appreciate everything you've done.
That's amazing. I don't think my mom is watching either, but I did give her a video call this morning to wish her a happy Mother's Day as well. I feel like I'm very lucky too with her because she visits me wherever I've gone
Oh, good.
in the world. She's come and visited me in Australia, in Dubai, on the
Hmm.
West Coast. She always makes the trip out there. So hopefully when the conditions allow again, she'll be out here checking out Pimlico or Laurel Park, depending where we are. So thank you for everything as well, Mom. And thanks to all the mums tuning in
Absolutely.
today. This is a wonderful day. I hope everyone's having a bit of fun. And we'll get going with the first race here. Mao and 16, 3-year-olds and upwards. Conditions nickel claiming level. Both of us look towards the number 5, a smart to a T for you, McMahon. Has the tendency to sometimes overdo it a little bit on the front.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to do that today. There doesn't seem to be anyone else in here that has that much speed early. So to me, JD Costa on smart to a T, you want to maybe hold him back a little bit and save some energy.
He has the ability to make a little bit of a move from just off of it as well. It's the key is how well is he going to be able to relax for the opening, say half of a mile, 5/8 of a mile, and bring a finish. He's been coming up a little light there at Penn National, but he's got races on the go back. Even a race at Laurel when he opened up a 65 buyer, a little weary late. Works against this field. I think his main threat, the biggest concern is going to come from the inside, from Bandolini. A horse is in very good form here for trainer Mike Girales and owner Mark Lapidus. Has come back off the layoff in very strong form. They're going to reach a little bit now, try to step up. I mean, this is a definite step up in competition and trying to navigate the two turns for Bandolini. But, yeah, I think smart to a T. If he can get away with comfortable enough fractions through that first three quarters, might have enough left in the tank to hold off the closers.
Yeah, and smart to a team. Make the rider JD Acosta late rider change all day. Angel Cruz will not be riding as, according to what I've heard, his wife has gone into labor.
Oh.
So let's hope that all goes well. And it's a perfect day for it, I guess, as Mother's Day. So yeah, that to me, is a wonderful reason to not be here at all today.
Yeah.
So we wish them, best of luck, and hopefully it will all go well. As we'll move on to the second race of the day, 6 furlong to distance, nickel claimer conditions once again. Do you have a video spotlight there on the number 2 start with yes, but we'll actually go to your early pick 4 first, Keith. You chose this sequence today.
I'll tell you, I got a funny story. I'll tell it to you. When my firstborn, Connor, and I was at Colonial Downs, and Bill in the press box will attest to the story. I've got a good one for you regarding the birth of my son. So, yeah, let's look at the early pick 4, and it involves racing. Okay, race 2, 1, 2, 3 to get you started. 3 deep there. Race 3. Leave him loaded. Aperitivo looks like the horse to beat, no doubt, for Damon. 3 deep again in race 4. 3, 7, 11. We're off the turf in race 4. Scratch the 2, 9, and 10 thus far. And wrap it up here with 3 deep again in race 5 with the 1, 3, and 6. Maybe Bobby 2 times the price can get back to that kind of debut run that he had and blow things up for us for this early pick for you. $27 ticket.
Yeah, let's get going here. 6 furlong a distance. We'll now have a look at the video for Start with Yes, which was last time out. Jerry Robb, the trainer. Same race as Blue Danube was in as well. Away well before dropping back, as you can see there, just a lack of room, wasn't it?
Yeah, and if you look at it, he doesn't have a ton of natural speed, so it was a little bit, odd. I thought, he was up into it, but X-Man looked like he had him in a great position. But it happens so many times when you draw the inside and you don't have enough to quite go on, you get shuffled back. But I tell you, give a lot of credit. Jock and horse were able to kind of recover, save ground, and close up quite a bit of ground through the last 3/16 of a mile, working out a little bit late, finishing with good energy behind a hot horse. Extra medium is in very good form now for Kieran.
Yeah, he is indeed. So I Start with Yes on top, hopefully being able to stay close and get an uneventful trip, not having to get taken back. Do you like the number 1 Blue Danube as well? Think he's going to project plenty of speed from that inside draw. And his best run actually came from off the pace. So it'll be interesting to see what the strategy will be. I'm assuming JD's going to gun him from the inside, kind of forcing his hand there. You go with the number 3, Talented Dr. B, as you mentioned, Sheldon Russell aboard. 2.5 months freshening after a win at that Nominated 3 lifetime at Penn.
Yeah, that was an interesting trip last time as well. Up with the pace, drop back, had enough grit to come back and get it. Second off the claim, a little freshening. Senior Richie came back and ran an okay number next time out. But I'm going back to the race at Laurel when he had the 9 post was out wide. That figure works for me. Has enough positional speed, maybe just to track the pace of Blue Danube from the rail and maybe hedge on by. But Start with Yes with a clean trip is the one that really you got to worry about for mowing down this speed.
Yeah, I think so as well. Race number 3, 6 furlongs for 3, 4, and 5-year-old maidens, available for 16 to 12.5. Claiming also the start of the Rainbow Pick 6. We have a carryover here, $1,604 to get you started. Of course, we were talking about this before. The big 23-gram pot got taken out a couple of days ago. So congratulations once again. And we'll start afresh as we did yesterday, and we'll continue to build that nice little pot here. The number 3, Leave 'em Loaded, is my top selection, but you use the number 6, Aperitivo, on top. Damon DeLodovico trainee. I did actually ask Damon about his runner here. He said he'd been training well. Did wonder if this distance was ideal for him because, of course, he had been running over 7. That might be better for him. So it'll be interesting to see how he fares.
Yeah, 7/8. That's a tough distance to come out of the box in, and he did. Ran credibly, a 49 buyer called Rubber Band. I think with this group, 6 furlongs is just fine. A little moisture stays in the track bottom side. You see spites down, a little drop in class. Leave him loaded. Yeah, I might try to go to his inside. It might be to his peril, though. Aperitif is pretty quick. I think I like to use that term, that knockout move around the turn. I'm hoping he can use that past the quarter pole, open up, and hold sway.
Yeah, I use leave him loaded on top here. Short break of about 2.5 months. Made all and dueled the entire time at that maiden 10 level. Tenacious, but got taken strides before the wire. So if he comes back with the same spirit here and a fresh horse, keep on improving for Hamilton Smith.
Yeah.
Katie Davis aboard. I'm going to take my shot here with him. I also used the number 5, the first-time starter for Mark Reed, Harbor Crossy. Norenberger was a Brooklyn handicap winner. Now that was an out-and-out stayer, mile and a half. Only a handful of runners, so really kind of tough to see what to make of that sire. Dam was unraced, but 3 out of 4 siblings placed in the money first out, including one of them winning over 5.5 furlong at Presque Down. So I'm taking my shot here with the first. That seems to be coming in here with plenty of works under his belt, and also a couple of bullet works or sharp breeze from the gate. 31st of March, 47-4. I mean, clearly this colt is kicking for his debut. I hope anyway. So taking a shot here. Carol Cedinho aboard. Always like to see her on as well. Race number 4, start of the Lake Pick 5 sequence here. We have 8 races on the card today, so starting race 4, excuse me, not race 5, as I nearly wanted to say and did. We do not have a carryover here, but of course the 12% industry low takeout makes it a good sequence and a good bet. Race number 4, mile and 16, we're off the turf, so it will be held on the main track here. Fillies and mares 3-year-old and upward, claiming 16,000. And Keith, we look at this quite differently, albeit both of us show some interest in number 3, Car Lady. Jose Corrales, she was last going into the turn in her last efforts at Laurel, that 1-turn mile. Widest of them all, but really close and tried to gun them down in the center of the track and picked up 3rd.
That was a good race against a better field, and I think she's just going to get enough pace in front of her. Utterly Enchanting stretching out. Rapid Ash Queen, we know those two want to be forward. You got Rapid Ash Queen with Al. He loves to send. I think she can just save ground a long way here, matriculate up to him through the last 1/8 of a mile and hedge on by. She doesn't have that big move. She's a grinding move, but gets a little relief here today in the right kind of pace setup.
Yeah, I use the number 6, Shake the Moon on top, just trying to take a chance here. Coming off that last run, or coming off a couple of turf efforts here, Carlos Dino aboard, which I love as well. But tricky race now, and now we're off the turf here. Actually, I must admit, I'm looking here at my selections. I think we kind of got this mixed up because mine are 11, 3, 7, and 1. So I don't know how we got those numbers on there. But because I was just going like, I don't have the 6 actually. So the 11 is my top selection here. 11, 3, 7, 1, that is. So we do see this quite similar. I did remember having Car Lady in there, so hence I was looking at this a little bit. I'll check what I send in later, but those are my selections. The 11 I have on top, Fairy Wish, main track only, so of course that suits her perfectly, and a very steep drop in class, which I'm hoping is going to suit her well with Katie Davis aboard.
Yeah, she's been over her head. Let's face it. This is the right kind of step down that she needs, and her last one did come in an off-the-turf event. Yeah, just that outside post. A couple scratches here. Can she kind of draft over, save a little ground? But her numbers are steady enough on the dirt that she should get a piece of this.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of us used the number 7 underneath as well. MJ's lady, Sheldon Russell. She ran through her non-2 lifetime condition pretty dominantly. 2 back and gets Sheldon aboard this time around. Of course, had Charlie Marquez guiding her. She piques my interest for Kelly Rubley.
Yeah, Charlie Gops for Car Lady here. But no, this is good. Little freshing, profitable move here for Rubley. She can get the distance. She's been behind a few of these, but would not be any surprise. I don't know, maybe you'd like her to win, but definitely be somewhere in that superfecta.
Yeah, that's my thought process. Exactly. I use her in 3rd. As we'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with the 5th race.
And they're off. Second in the 2-path. Ground off first inside. Race. A quarter of a mile to go, and he's 6 on top.
Welcome back. We're at historic Pimlico on the 5th race on this 8-strong card. Keith Fustel joins me once again. My trusty partner in the morning here, trying to pick some winners. Race 5 starts the late pick 4 sequence. I created a ticket for that. I go 4 deep in this race. Feel like there really is a couple that could kind of take turns vying for the winner's circle here. The 3, the 5, the 6, and the 9. The 6 is my top selection here. Self-awareness. Michael Trombetta, third after the layoff, has shown a fair bit of speed, drawn a little bit further towards the outside in comparison to some of the other speedsters in here. Didn't enjoy the turf last time out, but that race before, restricted allowance race, bodes well in this field, I feel, and perhaps a better price, 2-6-1 morning line. Race 6 is a match race between the 11 and the 10, so I single on the horse on the outside, Des Bordes, the 11. This will be your first time at this 2 other than level, but I guess she found a really good, easy group as we're off the turf, and hence a lot of them won't be lining up here. Race 7, I use the 5 and the 6 as my top selections in that starter over Mountain 16. And then race 8, I use the 1 and the 4-4. A tight ticket of $8 flat because I'm hoping it's going to be formful enough, and I might unearth a price in this starter race that we're about to discuss here. 6 furlong the distance. We have a video spotlight on the number 3 Degas and the number 5 Zenpai, who both ran against each other here at Pimlico over 5 furlongs. And as you can see, as I hope we can see in a second here when we do get the video, Degas is on the outside of Zenpai. Degas a little bit more forwardly placed and really sort of carries his speed a touch better than Zenpai in this event.
I tell you, this was a really gutsy effort by Degas. Look at the opening, 22-2, 44-4. Going to the lead, another fast horse for Damon, was coming off some freshening. But I tell you, look at Degas. He's not giving up at all. Zenpai, I thought riding maybe the little bit better part of the racetrack. Still inside. The first couple days was good. Degas, I was hoping this track, I hate to say you went a little bit muddy or sloppy. When I see that Munnings and Speightstown breeding, this horse had never been on the wet track. So maybe enough moisture will stay in it, because I thought it would even move him up a little bit more. He's very quick, and he's got some heart, Degas. But I go with the 6, Self-Awareness. Definitely form dirtied up on the turf last time out. The dirt to turf has been a good, profitable angle for Mike Trumbo over the last few years. Go back to the debut, a good effort from just off the pace. I think you're going to see reverting back to stalking tactics for Self-Awareness today with Victor Carrasco. The 2-back trying to chase those horses. No, that wasn't the way they want to do it. Let's sit just off of it and then pounce around the turn. I think you might get a little bit of a price just off of that last race. Looks so bad on the line.
Yeah, I think in a similar fashion, that 2-back try, Whiskey and You came back to win at that 2 other than optional claiming level. We saw Tommy Shelby win the Maryland Bred Allowance yesterday. Definitely a good race to come out of. And as you mentioned, the turf try, we just put a line through that. That really wasn't his game. Third after the layoff. He's got some speed. I think he needs to be fully placed, like you mentioned. It's just better to be in the midst of things. Try and take a shot with Self-Awareness as well. We talked about Degas. I used the number 9, Ronnie the limo driver. Ronnie the limo driver. I like that name. First time start here with Brittany Russell. Has been in 2 different barns. Jason Surface, Chad Brown. Chad tried to put him on the turf. Figure looks good. Couldn't bank with him. I guess he wasn't at the level that you need to be to stay in the Chad Brown stable. Comes in here first time as a gelding. Was reported gelded in mid-April. Interesting kind of horse that I wanted to include because there is some upside, but he'll have to find more based on that first try.
Yeah, this was a real head scratcher, and I just thought, with the power of Brittany Russell, the way these horses take money, it's going to be a tell on that tote board, I believe, for the 9 Ronnie the limo driver. He could be 4-1, he could be 2-1, he could be 8-1. You really don't know with him, so I'm just going to kind of go with the way that they've come in on these horses. The rest of the horses, 3 or 4 or 5 of them, they're very tightly bunched, hard to separate. So really tabbed a tote on Ronnie the limo driver. Yeah, going way back to September 19th, third place finisher came back to win, but working forwardly. I did not know what to do with this horse. This is one of the Russell horses I will try to beat because I do think he's going to take a little play.
Yeah, I think so as well. But he's actually never got his nose in front because he got that win via the
Yep.
DQ. So technically, he's never seen the winner circle yet.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just kind of going against him, but wanted to include him underneath just to be sure. I like the number 5 underneath as well, Zenpai, as we just saw him. If he can come back to some of the tenacity that he showed in his past form, he can definitely pick up a piece of the prize money.
Absolutely. He's going to chase again in here. He just needs things to unfold in front of him just enough, but he's a trier nonetheless.
He certainly is. Race number 6 is that match race that I was talking about. We are on the main track, a mile and 16 optional claimer, 2 other than, and because we are on the main track, the majority of the field opted not to compete today. You and I see this exactly the same. Des Bordes makes her debut at this level after a strong, dominant front-running victory last time out. I guess Kieran McGee must be smiling here.
Loving life. Good claim here for him. He's already got a couple wins. She looks a little bit faster than the 10 Take Me Home, but I saw Anthony Ferrier just before I came on to the show. He says, hey, can I win a 2-horse race? I said, yeah, because I didn't pick you on top. So there you go. I just put him right into the winner's circle. I think this is going to be an entertaining race. I hate from a gambling, a betting standpoint and from a handle standpoint. We don't want this. Okay, but there's not a whole lot, separating these horses. You go back to those mile races and such. Sheldon's going to probably keep her in range, no doubt. Does not want to let Debord get away with a comfortable early pace. So this thing's going to really pick up, I think, around the 3/8 pole home and get very, very interesting.
Yeah, I like this. This is very sort of tactically for the jockeys, figuring out what to do with that, and of course we'll see how it unfolds. And intriguing race. I can't remember the last time I've seen just a match race. I do believe I once was in Europe when we had a walkover because the entire field scratched bar one. So you just have to go around and finish. But at least we have 2 horses competing against you. Hey, look, match races were a big thing. I think in the earlier days, weren't they?
They were. Obviously, when we talk about a walkover, we had one of those at Colonial going way, way back. Horse comes out and literally tried to get out to the outer rail. It was crazy. You should have been there. I think it was a Ferris Allen horse with Horacio on. So it was very, very, very intriguing the way that developed. But no, Take Me Home and talking to Ferry, he said, she trains hard. She's not a real big mare, but trains very hard up there at Charlestown. Because I was wondering, I said, she's never been to 2 turns. How's she going to react to 2 turns on the big track? How's she going to react to that? So they're confident. Kieran, good little battle here between these 2 in the 6th.
Absolutely. Race number 7, 3-year-olds and upwards. Starting allowance. Horses have started for a claiming price of 12.5 or less in the last 3 starts. Mile and 16 main track race. We have a video spotlight on my top selection here. The number 6 Titans Will, and we can see him right here at Pimlico. Also on a track with some moisture in the ground that day. That was 2 weeks ago. Was perfectly spotted behind the leading pair before making the move that we're watching right there on the turn. Is that the knockout move that you were talking about, Keith?
Yeah, that was an aggressive move. You see the jock there really kind of throwing it down. It was able to separate from the field. And say moved a little too soon, but it was aggressive. Took the aggressive taxes. This horse had enough left in the tank to prevail by a length over. A couple of horses you're going to see here again. Walk Away Joe, other things equal, coming back pretty quick. Anthony Ferrier again with Sheldon Russell. Very live today, or is that combo? I gotta think he's going to be right back. Looking at the flow of the race, he's going to be up close a long way.
Absolutely. You used the number 5 Rough Sea on top. Last time out, tried to close into a slow pace. Of course, that's always very tricky to do. Should be finding the 2 turns possibly more to his liking in terms the way the pace set up. He might be closer to it.
I always chase Rough Sea, and it never really works out in my favor. I do think he's getting company relief in here. Look at some of the horses he's run against. Money Ride, Shane's Jewel. You see it. I mean, he's got enough speed, I think, to stay close. If he's 4 out of it at the quarter pole, I'm not going to be happy. I'm going to need him up with those horses turning for home and grind it out from there.
Yeah, hasn't been able to get himself in the winner's circle since March 2020. So does really have to start finding that sort of tenacious rally once again. Last race of the day. Race number 8, 6 furlong the distance. Nickel Claimer's known as a 2 lifetime. Both of us go with the number 4 Cohodas. We have a video of his last efforts where didn't get away that great.
No, and when you've got a speed horse, you don't want to do that, right? Came away a little awkward, then a stumble again, a few strides out of it.
Yeah.
See, that just lost the ground, broke a little bit, and then a little drift in bump and losing action for a couple strides. was coach. So this is a claim that has not really panned out at all, right? Claim for 25 back in February. Now, 2 races later, is in for the nickel. He's got to turn a foot. There's no doubt about it. I think he can use it to his advantage. Aggressive tactics here by the trainers and the owners jamming this one. Needs to get away cleanly. I'm trying to get Human Hand home with 3 winners here today, right? So he's live. Got him picked on top 3 times. But I think with a clean break, he can go coast to coast. Another one, though, his best effort was on a sloppy track. Doesn't look like he's going to get it this afternoon.
Yeah, it might be drying out a little bit, and they've been working that track pretty diligently. The number 1 True Shipment, both of us use underneath. Gets a nice weight break from John Geraldo aboard. Always nice over the sprinting distances as well. Broke his maiden end of last year at the maiden 10. Struggled a little bit, though, throughout that No. 2 lifetime, but perhaps finds the soft group that he likes here.
Yeah. Last time, just chasing tactics. It needs to rate a little bit and sit and make a move into it. Brings the finish, and that'll be it. Shorter field. I just think, aggressive tactics here by the 4 should get it done up front.
Yeah, I use Tale of Dixie underneath, and so do you. 4176 for me, 4167 for you, Keith, as we'll move on to lightning round.
All right.
Well, the Preakness is really starting to come together now. We have the first contender arriving here last night. Franz Godeina has arrived from Japan. You can see him right there. Now, he's traveled a fair bit, went from Japan via the West Coast to New York, according to Kate Hunter, if I do get that all correctly from what she told me, and then here. So we'll definitely see how he's feeling once he hits the track this week, and he is slated to breeze on Wednesday.
Okay, and he's just kind of an unknown to me. I don't know what to make of him. He's going to be a longer shot. He's been through a lot with his travel. Rooting for the connections. They thought enough to bring him here. So good luck. Good luck to everybody involved. He will blow up the tote board if he gets it done.
Oh my God, yeah, absolutely would. No, I support the sportsmanship of them bringing him here. I think he is targeting the Belmont Stakes as well. I saw him in Dubai, was training very strongly there, didn't get away as well in the UAE Derby, and that really cost him the race and the position that he needed. But Joel Rosario is on board once again, so kind of knows what he got there, as you can see him enjoying himself after his arrival. So yeah, we'll keep everyone abreast of how everyone and all the contenders are doing as they start to trickle in for Preakness 146. And as I mentioned, the betting opportunities, if you think you can box it with the best handicappers in the country, why don't you compete in the $1,500 Preakness Challenge live money handicapping tournament on Preakness Day? Keith, are you competing? You should.
I got to drum up some money. Maybe I can get a sponsor. That's what I need. Yeah, that'll be good. Would they allow me to do it? Maybe maybe not. I don't know.
I don't know. We'll have to talk to the higher powers.
That's okay.
As we were mentioning Preakness contenders gearing up for their run, we had a couple of them breezing. Yesterday, the duo for Chad Brown, Crowded Trade and Risk Taking, made a 5/8 move in 1:01 and 7:6 at Belmont, and Chad Brown reported that they breezed terrifically together. Of course, Chad Brown got his first ever Preakness win in 2017 with Cloud Computing, looking for his second here. So always good to see these contenders putting their final workouts in. Another horse with the final workout before lining up in the Preakness is one of two for Bob Baffert. Concert Tour at Churchill Downs made a 5 furlong move in a minute flat and 40. So that's obviously very sharp. But of course, the news did come out this morning that Medina Spirit Kentucky Derby winner was tested positive for bethamethasone, which is a steroid medication. Of course, there has not been a split sample test as of yet. Baffert has denied the allegations, so we'll keep everyone updated as this story unfolds here.
Okay.
In terms of other breezes, unbridled honor for newly inaugurated Hall of Famer Todd Pletcher. Todd Pletcher has not been able to win the Preakness just yet. He put in his final workout as well at Belmont, half mile in 49 and change. Galloped out in 1:02.1. So what do you make of that, Keith? We're all gearing up here. Everyone's putting their final workouts in. How important are those?
Uh, yeah, you want these horses coming into good form. Concertor looks like he's ready to kind of rebound from that poor effort. You know, when he was a heavy favorite down at Oaklawn Park. So Bob Baffert coming in with a strong hand. We'll see what the news does, maybe from a morning line standpoint, a betting standpoint, how the fans take that. But yeah, looking forward to it. And today we're drawing for Black Eyed Susan
We
Day. So
are.
Trish Bowman and everybody down in the racing office doing their hard work. I'm sure we're going to have some big fields, and that's when things really get started cranking for me here a little bit later in the day.
Yeah, so much
Yeah.
terrific action to look forward to. Can't wait till those Black Eyed Susan and the other stakes races on the day. Fields come out today.
Yep.
And of course, tomorrow around noon time, we'll be drawing for the 146 running of the Preakness. Kasia will join me as well as
Okay.
Claudia Spadera and the entire, and some of the highly valued members of our racing office team, including our racing secretary Gillian Tulloch, stakes coordinator Trish Bowman, and Dave Rodman will be there too. So fun
Beautiful.
affair tomorrow. Let's make sure everyone tunes in to get all the latest news there. And thank you so much once again, Keith. That will do it for us. I'll be back this afternoon with Callie.
You got it. Good luck.